Lo and behold, what has happened in Ukraine with Russia? Well, interesting, within the last day or two, Ukraine struck a pipeline, took out some aircraft on the ground, and supposedly, we don't know if Ukraine did this, but it would be one of their things, is one of the generals, actually senior general in charge of all training for Russia, accidentally had a car bomb underneath his automobile and it blew him up. So that's one thing out of the picture. However, there's a lot of things going on right now. We never saw the European Union involved in these negotiations in the last 4 years, and now we've got President Trump pushing a plan to do that. So it's progressing. I think Ukraine signed off on it. They're looking for security agreements. They won't be a member of NATO, but a member of the European Union. That's fine, and I think Russia's fine with it. The problem is that concession of land. Look, Ukraine doesn't want to give it up. The European Union doesn't want Ukraine to give it up, and the United States looks at it like you're going to have to give it up. I mean, personally, I think they're going to have to give it up because there's no way for them to get that terrain back militarily. Russia, I think what they have occupied, they may keep. It's not what I want either. I back Ukraine, but I think that's what the case will be. If Russia wants more of the land that they don't occupy, and I think that should be a drawing line that they're going to just have to give it up. But it's not good overall. The reason for it is if this doesn't come down to peace, Russia's just going to continue with their military aspects, which is probably to take the country as most as can. They are still making progress, and the longer this goes, the worse it is for Ukraine because they're running out of people. That's just a matter of fact. The other thing that I think is interesting is that there's a bilateral agreement. There's all these agreements popping out of the woodwork that says that some of these security guarantees to Ukraine will be taken care of by the European Union, but also a separate one with the United States. Now, the interesting, and this is sort of smart on Zelensky, as he says he wants this to be approved and go through the United States Congress. Now, I think that the cabinet, Trump's cabinet, is probably going to get a little resistant to that just from an ego standpoint. But from Zelensky's standpoint, it's sort of smart because if Congress looks at it and approves it, it can become sort of written into law. Whereas the president, as soon as he leaves office, the next president can wipe out executive orders and basically change things. So, yeah, smart call there. But still, not much has changed in the Ukraine-Russia deal. And hopefully we come to some agreement soon because a lot of people are dying. The infrastructure is being decimated, and the lack of power and fuel for the Ukrainians during this winter, as brutal as it is one of the things that Russians targeting. So after seeing a lot of civilians and apartment buildings and houses blown up, not military targets, I don't particularly like the Russians' aim in Ukraine, and they're definitely not nice during the winter. That's about it. That's the facts. No BS, no politics. There you go.